The Motley Patriot here. We are in Charlestown, West Virginia. I know I keep shooting from Charlestown, but it's interesting. I think when the railroad came through here, industry really started getting hold. And you can look at some of these houses and see that there was a lot of, what do they call that, disposable income. And you can see the how ornate so many things are. We were just driving through, and some of the brickwork and all is really amazing. But I want to show you something we came across so you can see again some of the details on these. The arches over these windows. A lot of time went into the brickwork. I can imagine there was quite the party town back in the day. Everybody early 1800s celebrating all the successes. But this is the one that caught my eye. So this is in really rough shape. But it's to our advantage because by these appearances, we are able to, because of the decay, we're able to show you some of the construction technique that I think you'll appreciate. I'm walking backwards because I lost my windscreen on my microphone. I apologize. Seems like every time I start the video, the wind starts blowing. Anyway, come around here. I want to show you something. So this gives you an idea of how these houses start off. So surprisingly, look what we have here. So this is an old log design. And now if you look here, you have saw marks on these boards. Would you pull back where my finger is so people can see that? So there's an arc of saw marks on here. So this was cut in a large round sawmill. But what's so interesting about it is the beginning of the structure. Like up here, you can see this brown, this stuff right here. The brown, oh, there's horsehair in it too. This is the old lime and mud daubing. I'm not sure what the exact name is, but here's another one, and you can see where they put brick inside of the old log. So you begin with this log structure, and people just keep building on it and building on it. Here's your old square nails. Very, very old. Oh, here we go. So this is a perfect example of what this would have looked like. If you look over here, this is a lime wash, original lime wash, that yellow where they add mud and limestone. And if you take a close, hard look at it, I'll give you my hand for scale. But there's lime wash. You can see the clay that's in with the lime, which kind of makes it harder, all the way up there. So at one point in time, this was a combination of lime and log. And I suppose at the distance, if you would lime the whole thing, it would come off as a white building. Now, your foundation here, take a look at these. These are large, squared. So somebody had to actually cut these stones into squares. So they were probably quarried, one would think. But I could be mistaken. Then we have an addition here, and we're still back to that old combination of, look at this. Well, this looks like an addition. Oh, yeah, that's definitely an addition. So I suppose this begins with that front log structure, which looks to be possibly a very tall log structure, maybe even 2 stories, but it was a big building. And of course over here, addition again, addition again. Then we get into a standard masonry here where they parged that. But pretty interesting. What's interesting also over here is you see 1, 2, 3, 4 services in here, which would suggest to you that maybe this was apartments at some point in time. Anyone's guess. I don't know the literal history on it, but I do know it appears there might even have been a basement or something in there. But it's neat to see all that. You know, the funny thing about these old houses, you know, people have lived in them for so long. There's so much trash everywhere. But boy, if you did an archaeological dig here and just went down, 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 $50 says you'd find some old early 1800s, late 1700 coins underneath here. But you'd never find it with all the noise and everything. But I thought you'd appreciate this mainly because of the building methodology where, you know, they come in. A lot of time and effort goes into these foundations and these stones, and then they go to log structure. So I think they leaned pretty heavily on that for a substantive wall. Certainly couldn't shoot through that so easily with a gun. Not like a thin wall with some concrete and all, but yeah, parched over. Very interesting. Oh, look at that. That's a real nice job on that little, might have been a doorway there at that point. Or maybe that was a walkout. Oh, walkout porch. You see that? Yeah, they send that out. Although, for all we know, it could have been a mercantile building, and that would have been where they would have come out and raised stuff up into the attic. For all we know, it could have been an original hardware store. We'll look the address up, but you know, these buildings, they have a history, and there's no telling what that history is. But anyway, Motley Patriot, bringing some structures up here. This is interesting. You see the Jeffersonian sort of leaning there. Funny, starts off as a log building and then gets pretty, they figure out how to present it with some pizzazz. I can definitely imagine at some point in time, there was definitely a Keeping Up with the Joneses, might have actually been invented at Harper's Ferry. Sorry, Charlestown. I get the two. I keep spitting one out. But anyway, we're in West Virginia, originally Virginia. Motley Patriot, like and subscribe. If you got any ideas, let us know. Thanks for dialing in.